Hello, this is Shay Jackson with Hype Math and Reading. In today's video, we will be reviewing for the 2022 Texas STAAR Reading Test for 5th graders. Our concept is context clues. This is part 1. Remember, 5th graders, believe you can and you will. Do you need a math or reading tutor? We offer virtual one-on-one or group tutoring for 2nd to 8th grade students. Parents can sign up. There will be a link in the description box for a free 30-minute consultation. We have our Texas STAAR 5th grade math review workbook and also our 5th grade reading review workbook as well, available for purchase in our store. Our reading review workbook will be released on January 28th, but you can pre-order your workbook today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so that you will be alerted when we upload new videos. Let's review context clues. They are clues that help readers determine the meaning of unknown or new words within a story, passage, or text. Here are some of the ways to find the meaning of unknown words. You can look at pictures if they're offered, look for words you may know, look around for helping words, read around the word, and also you can break the words into parts. Maybe it has a prefix or a suffix that you can identify with. Let's talk about the types of context clues. Our first one is definition. The word is defined in the sentence or a sentence nearby. In our example, the volunteer firefighters work to keep us safe, but they do not get paid. Based on our sentence, we know that volunteer means people who work but do not get paid for it. And that's an example of the definition of a word being within the sentence. Next, we have synonyms. These are other words that have familiar meanings that are used in the sentence. In our example, Zeke knew that the figurine was fragile when he felt all of the light and delicate pieces in his hand. So fragile, if we didn't know what that meant, we can determine because the pieces are light and delicate, they can be easily broken or damaged. For our third type of context clue, we have antonyms. These are other words that have opposite meanings that are used in the sentence. For our sample sentence, we have Malik detests eating raw tomatoes, but he really likes eating ketchup. Isn't that weird? So based on our sentence, we have detest, and then our helping word is but. So detests eating raw tomatoes, but he really likes eating ketchup. Based on that sentence, we know that detest could mean hate or think something is disgusting because we have that, but he really likes eating ketchup. The he really likes eating ketchup kind of clues us in. It's the antonym to detest. Inference is our next type of context clue. The word's definition is not explained. You must look for clues before and after the sentence. In our example sentence, we have, you do not want to work with Crystal unless you want to hear her talk about herself all the time. She is so arrogant. So based on our context clues, because in the sentence before, it talks about how Crystal likes to talk about herself all the time. That means she brags about herself and that she may think that she's more important than other people, especially if you talk about yourself all the time and you don't give anybody else a chance to say something, okay? So that is a way we can infer what arrogant means. Next, we have word parts. There is a clue in part of the unknown word. Our example sentence is, I think you're overreacting. So we can separate or break apart our words. Our prefix is over and our root word is reacting. So we know how to read what react means, right? And so we also know what over means. Based on that, we can determine that it is someone who reacts to something more than what they should, because we have over, which is like over the top, which Miss Jackson can be most of the time, but it's okay. Our next type of context clue is example. An example of the word is in the sentence or nearby sentences. In our sample sentence, I really like the decor, including the fancy lights, beautiful paintings, and lovely furniture made the house look stunning. So we have a helping word here. It's including, and because of it, that's how we can determine that decor means decorations and furniture in a house. So let's look at that sentence again. I really like the decor, comma, including the fancy lights, beautiful paintings, and lovely furniture. So that's an example of what decor means. And what was our helping word? Including. Lastly, we have schema. This is background knowledge the reader may have. In our example, our sentence is, a device such as a cell phone or tablet can be expensive. Well, you can think of, and you know what cell phones are and also tablets, so you can determine that device could mean some type of electronic equipment. Okay, and those are the types of context clues. Let's dive into some of our examples. And again, these examples are in our 5th grade reading review workbook. You can pre-order them today. The book will be released on January 28th. If you have experienced a moment like this, you know all too well what it means to have stage fright, also known as performance anxiety. It is one of the most common types of fear and tends to strike people when they find themselves at the center of attention. So we need to read the dictionary entry, and we're going to determine which definition best matches the word strike as it is used in the paragraph. Definition 1, to hit with a hand or an object. Definition 2, to crash against. 3, to affect suddenly. And definition 4, to come to an agreement. So let's read our paragraph again. If you have experienced a moment like this, you know all too well what it means to have stage fright, also known as performance anxiety. It is one of the most common types of fear and tends to strike people when they find themselves at the center of attention. Okay, so is there a definition of the word? No, it doesn't define what strike means, but you can use schema to kind of help, and also the sentences that are around strike to determine what it means, okay? Now let's look at and focus in on what could help us answer this question. I'm going to start with the sentence. So number 1, we know we're dealing with stage fright, okay? So think about stage fright, and if you don't know what stage fright is, it's like, for instance, if you have to say a poem or sing or give a speech or something in front of a lot of people, okay? Whenever you have to, public speaking is one of the most feared things, even for adults, 5th graders, okay? So that can give you stage fright when you know you have to speak in front of people, all right? So that could be, so think about stage fright in a time that you had to speak in front of someone or do something in front of your class and how you felt about it, okay? It says, it is one of the most common types of fear and tends to strike people when they find themselves at the center of attention, okay? Does that strike mean to hit with a hand or object? No, we're not talking about, and that's definition 1. So we're going to go through the definitions and talk about them to see if that could possibly be the answer. I don't think it's definition 1 because we're not talking about hitting something with your hand or an object, we're talking about being able to be on stage and having to do something, okay? So definition 2, to crash against. Well, no, that wouldn't. Who would you crash against when you're on the stage and you're performing, okay? So no, that wouldn't, definition 2 wouldn't be it. Definition 3, to affect suddenly. So if you have a type of fear, can fear come on all of a sudden or affect you suddenly? Yes, it can. It can affect you suddenly. And let's put that definition in a sentence to see if it would make sense. It is one of the most common types of fear and tends to affect people suddenly when they find themselves at the center of attention. Okay, that kind of sounds like that could be the answer. Let's look at definition 4, to come to an agreement. Well, we're talking about performing, so that doesn't really seem like that would be the correct answer. So our correct answer is definition 3. The definition that best matches the word strike as it is used in the paragraph is to affect suddenly. Let's look at another example. This excerpt is from A New Kind of Park for Medway. A dog park does not need to be big in order to offer all these great benefits. Most dog parks are no more than an acre or 2 in size. The empty meadow south of the soccer field in Skelter Park would be the ideal place for a dog park. We would not have to worry about parking since there's already a parking lot nearby. Aside from that, a fenced-in space with a few benches is all a dog park would need. Perhaps some of the businesses in town could donate materials or money, and volunteers could build the fence. This would minimize the cost to the town. I am sure many of the dog owners I see daily would be interested in joining a committee to make the dog park a reality. Once the park is built, the volunteer committee could maintain it by mowing grass, emptying trash cans, and doing other chores. So our highlighted and bolded word is minimize. So our question is, the word minimize in the park means, in the paragraph, not the park. The word minimize in the paragraph means A, encourage to take action, B, reduce, C, change on a regular basis, or D, settle. So our hint, because remember, when we're looking for context clues, talked about all the types of context clues we could use. If we don't really see that it's defined in a sentence, no, I don't see any synonyms, I don't see any antonyms that could help me discover what it means. So let me look around the sentence before and after that to see if that could probably give me a clue of what minimize means, okay? And our hint is perhaps some of the businesses in town could donate materials or money and volunteers could build the fence. This would minimize the cost to the town. Okay, so is it A, encouraged to take action? Well, we know that they're already taking action, potentially taking action, and there are people that are willing to help. So A wouldn't be it. B, reduce, possibly, because the sentence that's before it, it talks about things that other people can do, like donate materials or money, and also volunteers could build a fence. This would reduce, remember, you see how I substituted in the word as opposed to minimize. This would reduce the cost to the town. Well, yes, that makes sense, because if other people are willing to donate things like money, materials, and also volunteers can build a fence, that means those are things that the town doesn't have to do. Reduce is the same thing as minimize, okay? Change on a regular basis. C, no. D, settle. That doesn't seem correct as well. And that's what you have to do, fifth graders, when you're trying to determine or discover what the correct answer is. Just talk it through with yourself inside of your head to see what makes sense. Okay? And reduce is the correct answer for minimize. The word minimize in the paragraph does mean reduce. And that is it for our review of context clues, part 1. Remember, we offer math and reading tutoring. There will be a link in the description box for parents to sign up for a 30-minute consultation. Also, we have our 5th grade math and reading review workbooks available for purchase in our store. This is Shay Jackson with Hype Math and Reading. I will talk to you later.